Now, do you think he will continue now to pick formations based on the teams he's facing, or do you think he did it because Manchester City and he's going to revert back to that 4-3-3, which clearly isn't working for whatever reason, a whole host of reasons it's not working? Is he going to go back to what he knows, he's tried and tested, and just hope that eventually at some point in the next 10 weeks it clicks into place?
I think I think he's done it because it's City away, and if you're going to do it anyway, you do it there. You could argue maybe they do it against Tottenham or Man United in the final 10 games, but I don't think we're going to be seeing them going into 6 games against bottom half
teams.
Experiment?
Do you think he'll stick to that 4-3-3 then?
Yeah, but what I think we might see a lot of experimenting with is what I think it sort of baffled us last week as to why they didn't do it at Chelsea. But I think what we see a lot more of is Newcastle saying, right, let the teams have the ball and let's hit them on the counter-attack. We saw how well it worked at Wolves. When it works, it really clicks. And it's something that we haven't seen too often from a Newcastle United team under Eddie Howe, where they relinquish control, especially at home. But it really worked wonders against Wolves. Now, but so I think that's maybe a possibility that they change the in-game style. But I think as for the formation, I'd be really surprised if we saw that 5 at the back, on a regular basis going forward.
We've got downstairs, I thought we might have gone for it against City. We've got other people saying, BB Newcastle saying, I want Howe to prove he can take us forward by pushing to qualify for Europe. He's proven what he's capable of when he's able to play intense pressing football, but he's got no effective plan B, in his opinion, when that style isn't an option. But for that to work, because again, I thought it was quite noticeable on Saturday, they're just lacking energy. Now, we have to hope going to Dubai for the next 2 weeks, a warm weather break. Eddie Howe said there'll be a bit of relaxed time, but also we're going to work them hard. We're going to analyse. We have to hope that bounce that we've seen in previous years when they have gone away under Howe, they come back and they hit the ground running. He needs that to happen for the West Ham game.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Every time they've gone to Dubai or Saudi or anything like that in the last couple of years, they've always came back looking a lot fresher, a lot happier, a lot more confident, and it's resulted in a good period of form. Now, I think it's been very telling that none of the media are out there. There's even talk that even the club media aren't going to go there. Howe just wants to switch off from everything and just say it's him and the players. They're going to have downtime. They're going to have a bit of training out there to see if they can fix some of the problems, but also they're going to try and refocus and get ready for West Ham. Now, you've got to hope that is the solution. That's what happens. That's the answer. Because, I mean, how many of those players that we see, and there's excuses for it because they're playing every week, but how often have we said in the last couple of months, even when they've been down to 1 or 2 games a week after exiting Europe, that they're looking leggy, that they're looking tired? You can't be tired in these last 10 games because, it goes back to what we're saying. If they don't make Europe this season, then it's an absolute disaster.
If Newcastle United have a bad end to the season, heaven forbid, I really hope they don't. What does that then mean for Eddie Howe? Does that put him under a bit of pressure for the start of the season? I know we're looking well ahead, but I'm just trying to determine how big of a 10 weeks this really is for Eddie Howe at Newcastle United.
Oh, it's huge. And I think, look, let's just work under the assumption that Eddie Howe is given the time, even if they don't make Europe, to have a go at next season and to have a crack at it, which we think he will be. It puts them under huge pressure at the start of next season, because if they have a start of the season like they did this season, where they lost 3 of their first 4 games and they looked, really, really out of sorts, how much patience is left with those fans. You've got fans at the minute who are already starting to turn. I think that will only grow, quite significantly.
That's his biggest threat. I mean, look, we understand that he will be in the job regardless of what happens, and really it comes down to what happens from Saudi Arabia. They're the ones who are going to make the big decision. But I think the real danger is those. I hope I don't offend anyone by saying this. Kind of the sensible, down to earth, not kind of hot-footed reaction fans.
Me and you would say.
Well, I don't know if many people would describe me as that, but maybe yourself. But those who are kind of mellow and take everything into account.
Yeah.
And I know quite a few of them. I know people that interact with me on social media. I'd like to think my friends and family. But there's a little bit starting to turn. I think that's Eddie Howe's biggest danger.
And that's the thing at the minute. There is a growing, I won't call it a groundswell, but there's a growing feeling of unhappiness with Howe. But it's from sections of the fan base who are permanently unhappy. They'll never be happy with anyone. And that's the type of people that are calling for Howe to go, Mourinho to come in. As you say, when you lose the middle of the road fans like that, then I think it starts to be a problem. Now, I don't think he'll lose all of them if they don't get Europe, but I think the amount of fans that he loses the support of if they don't make Europe this season grows a lot, and that just adds to the pressure next season.
It's amazing that we're sitting here and things do feel rather down and gloomy, but it's in their hands. They are still so close in the race for Europe. You beat West Ham, who are two places ahead of you. Brighton's around you, then you Spurs, Manchester. These sides around them. It's in their hands. We just need to start seeing a bit of consistency. And performance against Wolves is the bar. Can you write off Chelsea in the Manchester City performance? I don't know, but it's there, and you have to actually praise the players and the staff for a fantastic job in one sense, given the injuries that they've had, that they're still within the shout of Europe. But then that's got to be the inspiration and motivation to actually, do you know what? We've come through some pretty choppy waters. Look where we are. We're getting players back. We're playing one game a week now. Let's get it. Let's do it.
You know what it is? You saying that, I feel like I've just rewound the clock back 2 months when they got knocked out of everything. We said, oh, well, look, players are coming back and Isaac's coming back and they're down to a game a week, and we're still sat here 2 months later having the same problems. Now, look, they're 10th in the table. They're on 40 points. Wolves a point ahead of them in 9th. Brighton 2 points ahead of them in 8th. West Ham 4 points ahead of them in 7th. They're only 7 points off Manchester United as well in 6th, and they still have to play them. They've got the best goal difference of any of those teams by quite a lot, to be fair. They've got 11 positive. The closest to them is Brighton on 6. So it is in their hands, as we talked about, favourable fixtures.
This Dubai trip's going to be the kickstart, right? Isn't it? Come on!
I'm just having deja vu, because how many times have we sat here after a win and said Newcastle are back? And look, you've got to hope so. There's no excuses from here. They're going to get players back. Hopefully, Nick Pope by the end of the month. They're hoping Joe Linton by the end of the season for the last couple of games. There's no excuses to not make it from here. But as we said about 20 minutes ago, watching Chelsea last week and watching Manchester City on Saturday, it just doesn't fill me with any.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm missing is the confidence. Look, I'm clinging to everything I can hold on to. That the bounce, like I say, when they do tend to go abroad for a training camp, to come back and they look like a better side, or they'll look